Hey everybody, this is Eye of the Dawn, aka Wild Free and Tangled Fairy, aka the Avatar in the City. I do readings at parties and events and stuff like that. And I guess I'm going to call it Tarot on the Go. This is me this weekend at a boutique called Hello Beautiful in Atlanta. Couple of hours I was there doing tarot readings. They having a great sale and great snacks. Shout out to Linux Cupcakes in Atlanta as well. People around the neighborhood nearby support. So yeah, I'll have this up on my website soon. I haven't put this picture up yet. I was working on the fonts and the words I wanted to say on the picture. I like the picture a lot, so on my tab for Avatar in the City events, you'll see this. If you want to book me for events, even speaking gigs, I have a speaking gig coming up in Naples, Florida, at the end of March this month. So yeah, when I find out more information about that, I'll post that as well. And if you are in Naples, Florida, we can have a discussion about past lives and ancestry and healing. Okay, let's move on to the charts. Okay, so this week is actually a big week, guys. Do you feel it? Like I told you guys before, I actually feel the shadows of things before they actually hit the transits. One of the main transits, of course, is Uranus transiting over and moving over into Taurus for the next 7 years. That's a big deal. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the new moon, which is now in Aquarius. But on looking at my calendar, on the 6th, which is Wednesday, there'll be a new moon in Pisces, and Pisces is jam-packed. I have a little bit of extras here with the asteroids and fixed planets or whatnots. Vesta, the burning flame inside, next to the sun and Neptune. But a new moon in Pisces will herald you being able to plant seeds in your subconscious mind for forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others, connecting with your ancestors. It'll be a great time to kind of take a break from the mundane world and to find some intimacy and even connect to dreams that you have this lifetime, which most likely connect to past lives, and dreams that you have to connect with the collective mind. Oftentimes, where all of us are, it's a illusion that you're alone at all. You know, the reason why I even share myself and know that people can relate to me is because I know this, that I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one going through what I'm going through and feeling how I feel. You know, so whatever house the new moon is in Pisces for you, whether that be, this is my chart, so it will be a mixture of houses between the 6th and 7th, but really they will say that my 7th house is in Pisces. That would be, you know, peering in deeper into my partnerships and relationships and making sure I'm not projecting my issues onto other people. Planting seeds for your new beginnings in your healing life, in your artistic life, in your self-expression. Pisces is the sign of our biggest ideals and greatest downfalls and blind spots. So your psychic abilities will be heightened. Heightened so that you might think that you're looking and peering into the soul of another person, but you might just be looking into the mirror of yourself. It reminds me of being in a fun house, a house of mirrors. You don't know what you're looking at. So it's just best that you just kind of like work through these issues within your own being. Because I find it to be true that nothing can really trigger you within someone else, like, if it's not within you. Even when it comes to falling in love, we fall in love with ourselves. You see a reflection of, I keep saying a reflection of yourself and other people, and you fall in love with it, or you just might hate it. In any event, that's a sign and signal of how you feel about you. How do you feel about you? How do you feel about your connection to the cosmos and your place in the cosmos? Who are you? I have my angel cards in front of me, and at the bottom of each card it says, "Know thyself and you shall know the universe." Now, that's a daunting task that sometimes sends people into a spiraling depression. And so I would also suggest that you spend time in nature and kind of balance things out. Spend time with the angels of nature and divine spirit. You don't have to go into the rabbit hole alone with just your mind. Pisces energy reminds us that we're not alone. We can call on our angels. We can call on our support. Man, what a beautiful moon. The moon is full of instinctual, psychic energy, intuition, dreams, even lunacy. Going crazy and mad with your own I was going to say power, but I guess using your instincts and intuition at the same time is our superpower. The moon is like floating in an ambiotic, am I saying that right? Sea of fluid. Still, it's the energy we're floating around in all the time, but you don't even notice it. It's not very grounded. So you mix that with Pisces and you just might feel very heady, maybe even high without taking any drugs. And if you are taking prescriptions or street drugs or whatever, it will heighten the effects of it. The new moon is a great day to fast. And to keep your energies to yourself. Maybe even keep what you're thinking of manifesting to yourself. In any event, the new moon is going to be happening around the same day, the 6th and the 7th, as Uranus is moving into Taurus. I'm already feeling these changes, guys. Let me tell you. As you can see, I have Taurus in the 9th house. Shared with my 8th. All the universe ever asked me to do is change. It's to let go, Let go. Let go of the past. Let go of my old ways of thinking. Break old patterns. Change the mentality. Let new ideas in. Develop an independent will. break cycles of addictions, and master my impulses, create spiritual autonomy, liberate myself from negative forces, and break circles of emotions that isolate me from the cosmic thought. As you can see, I could possibly have maybe a little problem with that, with Chiron conjunct Algo in the 9th house. Me and my higher mind be like, what? To each other, what? What you say? What you say? What did you say? What you say? Who said that? You know? Bearer of new sciences and new concepts of the universe. Encourage novelty. So for me, the shadow of it that I've been feeling is, man, it's time to break free. Uranus is about setting yourself free. Being okay with wearing your freak flag and letting it fly. And setting new trends. And Taurus is about, they say, finances and money. You know, Taurus is super stubborn. What's that about? Taurus is so afraid of change for some reason. It just wants to stay the same all the time. It trusts how things are, even if it's not healthy anymore. Even if whatever's going on no longer serves it. It just wants to, just keep grazing and eating the same old grass. It knows where it can get it. It knows when it's plentiful. It knows when it's going to go hungry. It's prepared for that. It doesn't want to have to adapt and be flexible. What's the worst that can happen, Taurus? Oh, and it wants its food and comfort and pleasure. Taurus can have issues with addiction, sexual addiction, pleasures, food addictions. I think that describes a lot of us in certain areas. So Uranus is going to come in and bust the door down and be like, hey girl, what's up? Like the Cat in the Hat and Dr. Seuss and Mary Poppins all at the same time. When it comes to your finances, and how you relate to the world, and maybe even mostly how you view yourself existing in the world. It's like, get off your fat ass and show the world who you really are, what actually makes you happy, what brings you pleasure, not in secret, in an addictive type of way. That's what I say. But in a, share it. Uranus is about sharing with the collective. Share with us. Let us find joy in you and what you find joy in. Like, share your gifts. Taurus is about artistry as well. Share your talents. Share what comes most natural to you. Taurus likes to be natural. A lot of us have been hiding how we feel most natural. You know what's come to me? I haven't shared this with my I don't like saying the word boyfriend, but potential husband. That's what we've been saying. Potential wife, potential husband. But we both do like the same type of things. And he's a writer and a poet and a rapper and stuff. And I notice he doesn't really share as much as he could. It's out of, and not just him, but me. Like, I notice that in him, and I'm like, I do the same thing. The things that we should share with people or with the world, we don't. Maybe because in the past we've been afraid that will be rejected, and I just feel like those times are over, and those people don't matter. That's what's been the shadow of it for me, has been I've already been moving in that direction. It's scary to me because I would have gotten in trouble as a child for feeling like I don't need to be beat up or to be abused in any type of way. I don't deserve abuse, or to be criticized. I can allow myself to exist and feel free to express in a comfortable way. I don't even really have to force anything. Taurus doesn't force a thing. And honestly, neither does Uranus. Uranus is just naturally a weirdo that comes up with like the best ideas, the quirkiest ideas, and it actually has the guts to try it out with no emotion attached to it. And, you know, with Uranus going into Taurus for the next 7 years, just prepare for you to get out of your comfort zone. And to start asking yourself questions like, why wouldn't I share? You know, what would it hurt? It definitely could help, because there's lots of addictions to negativity. And negative thinking comes from parts of you feeling
power off.
Thanks, lady. Feeling unloved and uncherished, unwanted and rejected, and feeling unseen and unheard. You know, so what a better combination than this? Let's move on to reading the featured chart for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed that transit talk. Do I have anything else I want to say before I go? Well, I did notice a sextile between the Sun and Saturn. Saturn and Capricorn and the Sun in Pisces, 18 degrees, which is going to happen on the 9th of Saturday. I don't know if anybody cares about that. But that should give you... It seems like a lot of these things have to do with the past. Pisces honestly deals with past lives, past relationships coming up to be dealt with and worked on over again. I forgot about Mercury retrograde on the 5th. Yes, that reminded me of that as well. Mercury is also in Pisces, and it's going to be going back through Pisces down into Aquarius. Let's see where it ends up, because the Mercury retrograde is going to be from the 5th to the 28th. No, it'll be in Pisces the whole time. So we're gonna be forgiving ourselves and one another, and you know, maybe some of the mean things we've said. Pisces gives everything a softer feel, a lighter touch, a more emotional, sensitive tinge. So for those of us who are sensitive, we also will be out of our comfort zone, because we'll be forced to admit how sensitive we are. A lot of sensitive people think they're tough and people can't see them. But you'll feel very vulnerable, like on the verge of tears all the time while you're going through your healing process. And you'll be forced to, and will coerced into your healing process and remembering the ways that you have hurt yourself and the regrets that you've had, and maybe realizing you don't want to live with regrets and you don't want to live without certain people, and you are willing to work things through and find a way to work things out. And it might give also the you might feel disillusioned as well, trying to work things out with people that you really can't work things out with. And when the retrograde is over, you'll feel like maybe I wasted my time, but you would have also learned about yourself. A lot of times with Pisces energies is you think it's about other people, and a lot of times people think they're falling in love, or they're you know, doing something meaningful to work on not being alone. And then at the end of the transit, you find yourself alone and you're like, what the hell did I do all that for? I should have never even reached out or opened up. But don't miss out on the fact that you were brave emotionally. You were emboldened with love. And, you know, you did something amazing and sacrificed your pride. And your ego was doused a little bit in the waters, the emotional waters of spirit, and you let go. And maybe that's the lesson. And maybe somebody needed to hear that. Okay? Yeah, so the sun, sextile, Capricorn, and all that other stuff about things getting jacked up and not making new contracts and stuff. And, you know, listen to your intuition. I don't say one size fits all, and I'm not very gimmicky. I will have to talk to you as an individual to see what will be right for you and pull some cards for you. You know, and you follow your guides. Ain't nothing like a whole lot of prayer that can push things right on through. But the sun and Capricorn is usually like a power-packed punch, you know, of a great team to get things done and move things forward when it comes to business and enterprise and commerce and partnership. The sun gives you a sunny disposition, a great attitude with Capricorn to get all the work done you need to get done. But with Pisces, you know, it'll be something more like I don't believe that I can do well, you might have a feeling of grandiosity, believing that you can do more than you can actually do, and you might burn yourself out, tire yourself out, you know, and then you'll feel like a failure when you don't reach your high goals. So be aware that even with just Pisces energy in general, you have high ideals at this time. And you might be brought back down to earth after the transit's over and the veil is lifted, and you're like, oh man. But don't beat yourself up. Regroup and look at all the work that you got done because you believed in yourself. That's all I can say about that. Alright, so let's go. Now we're going to go look at another chart and see what we see there. I'm going to try not to show the name at all. Alright, so this is for a young lady on Instagram. Thank you for following me. Thank you for watching my channel. Okay. I want to cut off the transits. See, and I showed your name. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let me just leave that alone. Because I'm looking at, I get a little distracted. But the first thing that catches my eye is this Mars here next to Sears. In your 11th house in Leo. You're very... people really like you. You're really outgoing, and you're very passionate about showing that you care. You're very protective of your friends, you know, and your friends feel that from you. That's where you shine. Yeah, you really live out loud when you get in groups of people. And I find that when people have 11th house planets, and they don't go out in crowds and they don't hang out in groups, they don't know that part of themselves. So if I'm talking to you and you kind of don't really go out that much, and it seems like you do with Mars in your 11th house, I would assume that you're pretty active, and very activated and motivated to get out the house and do things. You probably are some sort of actress. If you're not a professional actress or pursuing it, you definitely like to shine. You definitely love the spotlight and for the center of attention to be on you, you know. But it seems like it's in a way that is healing for everyone around you. That's interesting. I would like to know more about that and how that plays out for you. You have a sun in Libra in the second house. And we were just talking about Taurus. So the second house is ruled by Taurus and Venus. So you're very giving and compromising in your relationships with people. And it could be a double-edged sword where you're like, okay, fine, we can focus on you and what you value today. And a lot of times with Libra energy, the people never get around to valuing you and asking you what you would like. So you might feel a little frustrated, you might feel like I'm the only one that keeps things balanced around here. Nobody else compromises with me, which means you might have to start opening up and speaking that, and kind of like being like, hey, I'm not going to be the only one giving here, and making sure everything is balanced. People need to also share with me. But you don't really feel comfortable if you're not in friendships and sharing yourself, and that's who you are. You definitely like to share your resources with other people. And I see this Chiron in the first house in Virgo, which means that you may not even know how people view you, or if people like you. You might feel constantly insecure. The Chiron, if you don't know, is the wounded healer. It's where you're able to help other people more than you help yourself. It's another indication here that you are a great motivator for others. You might be like, believe in yourself. You might tell other people very positive affirmations about their identity, helping people see that who they are, and that you might tell people that you're beautiful, you're worthy, you can do it. But that might be something you struggle with. It's something that you work on, but it seems like you can't quite shake. And it's very Chiron. And the more you help others, the more you'll be able to be like, oh, you know what? I need to take my own advice. And with Chiron being in Virgo, you might try to hide your identity. With having a Virgo ascendant, it might be really hard for what we were just talking about, this Mars in the 11th house, for you to combine the two. So even when you're out in a group, people might be like, wow, you have a wonderful personality, but you'll be like, me? What are you talking about? Because you have been criticized so much, and it might even be just about the very things that make you shine to other people. A lot of times, our childhood is a catalyst for these wounds to be created and shaped. Okay? Very interesting chart here. So we have a stellium in the third house in Scorpio, Mercury, Juno, North Node, Jupiter, Venus, and Pluto. Mercury seems to be the furthest out and 6 degrees from everything else here. Okay. So you definitely love to discuss and talk about and kind of create drama when it comes to things that are esoteric, and you might be the sage in your family, the leader spiritually in your family, and your family might think or not take you seriously. And a lot of times when I'm just honestly thinking about my family, all of us kind of have that thing, that spiritual thing going on, and it just may be a bit competitive, like who knows more, who who's going to be the leader. Who your role with your brothers and sisters, they might challenge you a lot and cause for you to go through times where you have to separate yourself from them so you can have your own identity. Here's another indication of your identity being transformed and worked on through relationships with your family. Your relationship with your family might just be up and down, in and out. Your siblings, really. Okay. Yeah, I'm sensing, looking at the fifth house, that the father is estranged, not around. Maybe you and your siblings have different fathers. If I were you, and if this is the case, I will try not to focus too much on that, because you have a lot of shamanic journeying to do. You're by yourself. And you might feel like, I wish I can do this with my family, with my siblings. I wish we were close. I wish I knew, how we can all work together. I just get this sense that you are this person that I want to work together with people. And it might hold you back from getting started on the things that you want to do. And using your voice and using your own powers. So the thing for you is to create your own spiritual autonomy and allow people to come to you when they're ready. But along the way, you just continue to work on yourself and focus on how beautiful you are, cultivating your gifts and your talents, being obsessed with learning, be obsessed with being creative, being obsessed with and self-absorbed in your own world. And I know you want to share what you're learning and what you're thinking with people that are close to you, but they just may not be ready. Or and if they are on your level, they may be competitive. It just may not be like how you want it to be right now. It may not ever be that way. But Pluto, in the third house and Scorpio just lets me know that that's the drama that you need in order for you to evolve in your life. It's just going to be that. So I mean, if you would like a one-on-one reading with me, and for me to do deeper research into your chart, go to my website, ajaaya.com, and or just DM me. We talk now. You don't have to just go to my website. And I'll see you guys next week for the transits and reading of another chart. Peace to you. Bye for now.